And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this July 4th edition of Alaska Weather. Up first on the fire danger map, forecast for July 5th. Well, as you can see, pretty blue here, low in the west and to the north here. And then highest, worst fire danger will be here north of the Alaska Range, across the Tanana Valley, and then kind of narrowing out as you head east there. Eastern interior right here, pretty low due to the recent rainfall, soaking rains moving into the Eagle area, and even some rainfall today up to 1 to 2/10 of an inch in the eastern portions of the upper Yukon Valley, but still very high up to the northeast there along the Porcupine River, and a little bit up to the north here in the west central interior. Otherwise, Copper River Basin for grass, looking at very high fire dangers, and kind of an increase here over the southern panhandle due to the sunny, warm conditions expected there. And then for spruce, high to very high here over the Tanana Valley, north of the Alaska Range, and the immediate area north of the Alaska Range. Actually, probably does extend up toward the Fairbanks area, and then another zone right through here, and also in the Copper River Basin, but much of the state looking really good as far as fire danger goes for tomorrow. And some elevated areas, high to medium there over the central and southern panhandle and areas. Moving on to satellite imagery, had some clouds moving into the southeast coast here today, but not too bad. Very light precipitation with that up to the north here. If any, most areas were dry with temperatures 60s into the lower 70s. And then this front out here, low pressure south of the Aleutians here, right in there. And a pretty good front moving northward and spreading wind and rain northeastward and eastward here, pushing into Kodiak Island now, rain spreading into the area there. And then this band of clouds pushing northward today brought some pretty good rainfall in over the eastern interior and back up to the northwest there along the Alaska Range. That'll continue to move off to the north there. Otherwise, on the chart today, here's this front, pretty good front here for July, bringing winds gusting 30 to 50 miles an hour across the Alaska Peninsula and up along the southwest coast there. Wind, rain on the increased Bristol Bay, as well as Kodiak Island, with rain and showers extending back toward the central Aleutians and some pretty gusty north winds there, 25 to 35 miles an hour out of the north, sustained over the west central Aleutians. And ADAC picking up about half an inch of precipitation today. Otherwise, weak low here in Norton Sound and the trough. Again, that band of moisture here, this whole area here, moving northward. And there was some clearing here to the south and drier conditions during the day today. Temperatures on the cool side, mostly in the 50s and 60s. By mid-afternoon, some areas getting up to around 70 here in the Copper River Basin. Some isolated showers over the northern panhandle, otherwise partly mostly sunny skies on down to the south with temperatures in the 60s, 70s. And a couple areas had some lower 80s. And for tonight, gale force winds move across Kodiak Island and up into the Barren Islands, Kamishak Bay area, with rain on the increase here over Cook Inlet and the southern Kenai Peninsula. Probably keep raining in the Seward area into this evening and tonight. Might let up a little bit before it picks up again. But high pressure here over the eastern Gulf of Alaska and Northeast Pacific going to slow the advance of this front down and continue to direct most of the moisture northward. This area of moisture crosses a Brooks Range, and so look for some precipitation over the north slope and along the Arctic coast. Again, another round there. And then wind starting to come down here for the central Aleutians, still gusty out of the north with showers from ADAC all the way up into the Alaska Peninsula area, periods of rain for the Pribilof Islands. And looking ahead to Wednesday, this low up to, sets up right over the Fox Islands there. Pressure now above 1,000 millibars, continuing to weaken, gradients slacking off, so the wind's diminishing here over much of the Aleutians, as well as the front weakening. So we'll have some gusty southeast winds here, mountainous areas of south central Alaska and through Turnagain Arm and in the Manuska Valley, but nothing too terribly strong. Increasing chances of rain here in the normally wet areas in this type of weather pattern. Southern Kenai Peninsula coast into western Prince William Sound. Copper River Basin should stay dry for the most part, as well as the Manuska Valley. Susitna Valley, chance of rain, and a pretty good chance of showers or light rain here over much of the western interior areas. Dry and partly to mostly sunny as you head east there toward the border. Partly to mostly sunny also for the Panhandle. A little breezy here on the south coast. Small craft advisories for northwest winds at 25 knots in that area. And that continues through the day on Thursday as well. Looking at small craft advisories, northwest winds 25 to 30 knots for the southern southeast coast. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny. And an increase in the wind, mostly due to the heating here over the inland areas into the 70s and 80s over much of the southeast coast now. Same thing here over the eastern interior, picking up the clouds, central interior, the risk of some showers, and those shower chances increase as you head out toward the west coast. This low now jumping northward there, just southwest of Nunivak Island, keeps light rain at times for the Pribilof Islands, all along the west coast here. And a trough keeps a chance of light rain, fog, and drizzle for the Seward Peninsula up into the western North Slope areas. Another couple of weak troughs here bring in enhanced showers into Kodiak Island, down across the Alaska Peninsula. Out to the west, the next front spreading some moisture eastward here with rain chances pushing into Adak and possibly Atka, probably holding off until Thursday evening out there. And for the lows tonight, 40s to lower 50s here over much of southern Alaska. Lower 50s for Bristol Bay, and upper 40s to lower 50s here for the southeast coast. Mid 40s in the Copper River Basin, followed by highs tomorrow, 70 to 75 for the Copper River Basin areas, and 65 to 70 in the northern Panhandle, 70 to 75, 6, maybe even 77 or 8 in some areas there for the southern southeast coast. Mid 50s North Gulf Coast, Prince William Sound upper 50s, 55 to 63 south central Alaska here. A little cooler for the Kenai Peninsula than, say, the Manauskas-Susitna Valley. Mid-50s Kodiak Island. King Salmon forecast high 65 and in the lower 60s for the Kuskokwim Valley. Lows on Thursday morning, 40s to lower 50s for much of the area. Same thing for the southeast coast. Followed by highs anywhere from upper 60s. 70s will be most common with lower 80s in some areas like up toward Haines. And that area, maybe Skagway, as well as here down to the south over toward Misty Fjords. Otherwise, mid-70s Copper River Basin, upper 50s to lower 60s. South central Alaska, again, not much change, staying pretty far below normal for this time of year in many areas. Mid-50s for Kodiak Island, lower 60s in the Kuskokwim Valley. Up to the north, 30s and 40s for the lows here north of the Brooks Range. Otherwise, 40s and lower 50s interior Alaska, near 40 out over the Bering Strait. Highs tomorrow, 75 to 80, Yukon Flats over toward Eagle. Otherwise, lower to mid-70s here, Fairbanks on down toward Northway Tok, Eielson Air Force Base. Upper 60s central interior, cooling into the 50s as you head west, up to upper 40s for St. Lawrence Island. Lows the following morning, not much change from what you'll see tomorrow morning, except a little milder here over the Yukon Flats, upper 50s there, mid-50s, mid to upper 50s, upper Tanana Valley area, followed by highs 80 to 85. Some areas like Chuck-Yitzhak could hit 87, 88 possibly, and then 60s to near 70 over the eastern North Slope. And for the Arctic coast, 40s and 50s. And out to the southwest, lower 40s tonight, many areas, upper 40s for the Alaska Peninsula. Highs tomorrow, mid-50s here for the southwest coast with upper 40s and 50s, mostly in the 50s everywhere else. And then the lows 40s, followed by highs in the lower to mid-50s here for the Bering Sea, upper 40s to lower 50s eastern Aleutians, and then highs Thursday afternoon only in the mid-50s for the southwest coast, lower to mid-50s for the Alaska Peninsula, upper 40s around St. Lawrence Island.